I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Halfway through the first hour. Halfway through the lunch hour of the Bottom Line. 100.7 The Score. DoubleTSportsNetwork.com and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Thoughts off the Gates Flooring Center chat line. Discussing games that you are interested in other than Tech and Utah for this weekend, either pro or college. Somebody chimes in saying Baylor versus Arizona State should be a good game. I agree. Yep. I think we'll find out a lot about both of those two teams this weekend when they face off with each other. We have been talking about Tech and Utah for sure. We will continue that conversation as we roll through. T-Bone chimes in, I have two big problems for this game. First road trip of the season, and I've been let down for 40 years. Go Tech! T-Bone. Totally get the second part of his comment. Totally understand the first part. But this is an older team. And this is a team who's been on the road before. Maybe not wearing your uniform, but they've done it before. And defense travels. Yeah. I whisper that because it's so cliche, but it is. There's a reason it's cliche. Because it's true. And you have a really good defense. And who likes to get punched in the mouth at 11 o'clock in the morning? Or 10 o'clock in the morning, Utah time. We were discussing, before we went to break, the game I am also interested in Tulsa, at Oklahoma State.
That'd be
and
nice.
You had a thought that I made you hold. Did you hold it, Bill? Did you hold it?
I did.
Okay.
I did. The thought, and this is something that Choice and I have discussed numerous times now leading into the season, is that you don't need all your teams to be good in the conference. Mm-mm. You just need three. You need three to dominate, though. You don't need teams to all be together. Hey, we have a great conference up and down, because that's irrelevant in college football. It is 100% irrelevant. In fact, it makes your conference irrelevant. So I am okay with Oklahoma State getting beat this week. The same goes, of course, because of my feelings towards TCU. I am okay with TCU getting beat every game this season. I am not a fan that just rides with the whole conference. Same, I've done that with every sport. I don't just choose to root for the AFC East because I'm a Patriots fan. I actually don't like those teams more than I don't like other teams.
Exactly.
I don't root for them. Mm-mm. Like you root for the Eagles and the Giants. I get you. I understand that's your thing. I'm good with that.
Excuse me?
I just don't. I'm okay with.
Excuse me? Who do I root for? No. No. Incorrect, sir.
I think he said he roots for the Commanders, is what I think I heard.
No.
Yeah.
No. I wish nothing but the best for Cliff Kingsbury, and I like Dan Quinn as a coach. I hope they go 0-17.
You just don't like those colors on them.
I do not like that uniform, and anybody ever wearing that uniform. No. There are rules. I have spoken. Go ahead, continue.
So, I do think that could be an interesting game. We just need the top 3 or 4 teams to continue to dominate, which, as it stands right now, we need Iowa State to continue playing good football. We need Texas Tech to continue playing good football. Obviously, Utah and Texas Tech can't both play good football this week. Well, they can. Just one of them has to lose. So, you need 3 strong teams to finish out your conference. Or excuse me, Oklahoma State is not one of those teams. Get beat this week. It's okay. Do it for the conference.
This has been the first year for the Big 12 that I was wanting some success over the other conferences in your non-conference play. I'm not upset for the losses that you have taken as a conference, but I was rooting for the conference every week as they're playing non-conference opponents. As I look at the Big 12 schedule this week, I will be cheering for BYU over East Carolina. I don't think they're going to need my help, but I will be cheering for them. I'll be cheering for UCF over North Carolina. Not that I think they will need my help. I think they're a better team. They're playing at home. I will be cheering for SMU to beat TCU. There is no doubt in my mind. I will be cheering for Colorado to beat Wyoming this weekend, although it will not upset me if Wyoming beats Colorado, because that will be yet another season where Wyoming has jumped up and bitten a Power 5 conference. The rest of them are either Big 12 games or Tulsa at Oklahoma State in the conference. And the amount, I hate to say respect, because it's more than that. The amount of, reverence is too strong of a word. There's got to be something in between. That regard. The amount of regard I have for what Mike Gundy has done at Oklahoma State forever with the Cowboys. And not just being the former player, but being the longest tenured coach who's been in the Big 12 the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Utah's coach has been there longer. He's been in the Big 12 2 years. I hate seeing the way this is ending for Mike Gundy. I am not sad that Oklahoma State is struggling, but it's for what Gundy has done in this conference that absolutely demands acknowledgement.
Doesn't it
to go out like this?
Doesn't it feel like, though, for coaches, it ends almost like older players? Like Gundy struggling,
sure.
Right? Belichick had terrible years, and he's arguably the second best if you want to put Don Shula or any of those other guys up, or the best. I know he's the second most winning coach in the NFL, but he struggled, right? And then now he's over there. You can even look at another sport. Phil Jackson dominated, right? And then ended his career with the Knicks. So
that was his fault.
It's almost like coaches kind of follow that same path where they love the game, and then just something, as you get older, it just doesn't click with the players. What you're teaching is gone, and you're not able to adapt and continue that same success path that you had as your earlier years of success. So now that you're doing everything you can. But we'll see. I mean, Gundy's done so much for Oklahoma State. And as you said, so much for the Big 12 because he is the longest tenured coach that has been in the Big 12. So it's just the circle of life for sports, and that's how it rolls. It's like that for players. It's like that for coaches. Very few people stay on top and retire on top. I think that's why I've got a lot of respect for how somebody like John Elway went out. I won 2. I'm out. See ya. I'm not coming back. There's no reason to come back.
He did as an owner.
That's right.
I mean, or a general manager. I guess he's not the owner. He was a
He's been a general, and he's
done okay.
Won a Super Bowl.
I mean, he's done okay.
Yeah.
He's not been perfect, but he's done okay. I can't believe I get to quote a movie here. Not that I'm quoting a movie is unheard of. I'm getting to quote this movie. Have you seen the movie Cocktail with Tom
Cruise?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The line I'm about to quote is so apropos for college sports and athletes and everything else. Everything ends badly. Otherwise, it wouldn't end. It's when he's breaking up with a rich woman and she's like, I don't want this to end badly. Everything ends badly. Otherwise, it wouldn't end. And while that's not entirely true, in the sports world, it almost always is true that everything ends badly. If I were to pull a Chuck Hines and pull Stop 100 Cars Down University and ask them, do they like Cliff Kingsbury? If I just put it that way, I'm guessing 95% of the people that we stopped either wouldn't know who Cliff Kingsbury is, which would be shocking to me, but of the ones that did, they would say he is a great Red Raider. I wish it would have worked out for him here.
Yeah.
That would be almost a universal statement from all of them. I'm sure there's somebody that he cut off in traffic once that really hate Cliff Kingsbury, and I totally get it. I understand. Then they just kind of hold that grudge. But that doesn't mean it ended well here.
Well, it absolutely
it did not end well here. I know a lot of people here do not like did not like Matt Wells as a coach, did not like Matt Wells as someone in charge of your program, do not like Matt Wells now that he's in charge of Kansas State's offense. Like, as a person, though, he was a good guy.
Yeah.
And he's at Kansas State, which is the only reason I don't wish him all the success in the world, because he's at Kansas State, and I'm really, really tired of losing to them. And it doesn't hurt my feelings that they're struggling with him as their OC. But as a person, I liked Matt Wells. I thought he was a good guy. I thought he was a stand-up guy. He had his issues, like all of us do. But it ended.
But to your point,
horribly bad.
Ended bad.
If it didn't end badly, it
Still
wouldn't
be here.
end. It's the bottom line. 100.7 the score. Somebody give me a red eye.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 the score.
One more in your lunch hour here on the bottom line. 100.7 the score, Double T Sports Network.com, and the 100.7 the score mobile app. Jeff in for Choice, Matt in for Chris, and Roman in for Clint. In other words, what I'm telling you guys is that nobody is where they're supposed to be right now.
Nope.
Nobody. Off the 840 Center chat line. Matt Wells, it's just was not a good fit here at all. Do not disagree with that in any way. That doesn't mean he's a bad dude. Just means he wasn't the right guy here.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't. And did he have to deal with some things that no coach should have had to deal with? I'm going to say yes. He had the short offseason when he got hired, like every coach does when they first get hired. He also had the COVID year where everything went crazy. His third year was his first full offseason, and even that was kind of like, as we were going into it, well, what are we doing? Are we going full bore? We not going full bore? We did go full bore for that one, but we weren't, like, all summer long we were wondering if the other shoe was going to drop again. And then didn't perform. His teams did not perform. They didn't perform on the field. They didn't perform in the recruiting rankings. They didn't perform in all the places that a coach would need. I don't want to say to save their job, but you didn't have enough ammo to fire back with. And if you'd had any of that, the flub at the coaches show for a guy that didn't like giving generic answers to questions. He liked to, if you were to ask him a question, he would try to come up with an original answer for that question. Or one that was maybe not the way you were asking, but if you threw him a softball, he's going to, catch it with his hand, throw it back to you and say, throw me a baseball. Throw me a real question. That was his mentality, which is how the coach's show flub happened. He was asked what he likes most about Lubbock. You ask any other coach that question. It's the people, it's the personalities out here, it's the community, it's all of that, right?
Hospitality.
He hated that type of answer, and he stumbled to come up with a quick answer. And it sounded bad. It absolutely sounded bad. But what got him fired was losing to Kansas State in a game where you had the lead and didn't score in the second half. That's what got him fired.
Winning cures all.
I've heard that.
It's not a heard that. It's a fact in sports. You can get away. Let me rephrase that. You can get away with a lot more when you're a winner.
Oh, absolutely.
Coach or player, if you are a winner, you get away with more. You can have hiccups in the press, on the field, from here and there. If you produce a winning result, your team, if you are a coach, is a winning team, you have more opportunity to make mistakes.
Yes.
If you are subpar,
you have fewer opportunities.
that's right.
Then you have to get everything else right.
That
and
is
even
right.
then, it's not enough.
No.
It can spare you for a while. You can hang on longer than Others, if you're doing everything else right, you're just not winning enough. But the boosters like you, thinking on the college level, the boosters like you, the team likes you, you're showing little signs of improvement, you're just not getting over the hump, there's things we can live with. But it can't be as bad as it was.
Is this a hump year for Joey
No.
to get over?
No.
No?
No. Only because while there are high expectations and there's pressure on this team for sure, he would have to have a disastrous season.
Oh, I'm not talking about
to even be close to a hump year next year.
Let me back up in terms of the way my thought was with that question. I'm not saying bad outcome, like ending bad, like cocktails.
Right.
What I'm saying is that, to me, this is a hump year in the fact that you need 10 wins to deem a success this
if
year
you're talking
in the season. And I don't mean including bowl games. You need 10
regular
wins
season.
Regular season. Anything less is, I hate to use the word failure because it comes off as real harsh, but anything less is a failure with the roster you have, the buildup you've had over the last few years.
Sure.
You've shown improvements. You're getting recruits. Just got another 4-star commit yesterday.
What you've seen on the field this year.
Been good.
Keeping in mind the opponents. I'm absolutely factoring in the opponents in this.
If you played starters all 3 games, you could have easily hit 90 points.
In all 3 games.
That's right.
Easily.
So I'm with you on that. Let's put the score aside for these games.
It's not even the success that you... The reason I've got such positive thoughts going into this game for Utah is because you have played 3 teams that were bad, and you have beaten them like they were bad. You didn't let them have a game. You didn't let them show up and think they had a chance. You put your foot on their throat and you pushed. And you pushed until they didn't want to be pushed anymore. And then you lit them up and said, cool, now here's our backups. And they performed well. Like there hasn't been the Abilene Christian from a year ago or the Wyoming from the year before that.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't had those type of what the heck did I just watch moments against a team that had no business being up with you. Everybody else in the conference has had that type of game. They've had a game. They may have won. Utah won theirs. Utah won theirs.
Are you talking about the UCLA game?
Yes.
43-10.
No, not UCLA.
Wasn't Wyoming 31-6. Still a pretty.
No. They had a close game. I know they had.
No,
a close
they didn't.
Game.
Cal Poly 63-9.
What am I thinking of then?
It wasn't Utah because Utah's done this. You could almost say Utah has done exactly what we did. Minus the 31-6.
Because it was the first half of the game that Utah was like.
Yes.
It was the first half of Utah that was like, what are we doing here? And everybody else has had that question of what's going on with our football team. Iowa would probably be the closest to that example, and I kind of factored that one out of this conversation because it is Iowa State versus Iowa.
Well, and the same with K-State's first game. I mean, you're across the seas.
Overseas, but it's also a Big 12 game.
Ireland, yeah.
But they have not looked good otherwise.
I'm good with Kansas State on the struggle.
Ask me after we play them.
No,
I don't want to face.
The more they play,
their first Big 12 win.
No, the more they play, the more excited I get to play them.
That's what scares me.
They're 1-3.
Yeah,
they are the worst team in the Big 12.
No, they're not the worst team in the Big 12. They're playing badly.
Who would you put over them?
I would put them.
Are you
over
putting
Oklahoma
them
State.
just based on reputation?
I would put them over Oklahoma State. I would put them over UCF. I would put them over. Houston's a push right now for how they're playing. There's some reputation with Kansas State that keeps them above.
That's
in
what
the Houston neighborhood.
So you're thinking of the old. Don't do that. Don't do that. You can't do it with them and then not do it with Texas Tech. And we are all for Texas Tech, but we have had some rough years.
Yes,
those years don't matter.
They don't.
Okay, Kansas State is terrible. They're terrible. They are on the Colorado Buffalo schedule.
They are. Yeah. No, I got you.
That's where they're at.
I have too much respect for their coaching staff because they've shown they can start slow and end up in the Big 12 championship game.
Quote of the day: all bad things
end. Sure, yeah, all things end badly.
It's coming.
Sure. And
K-State's
I also know they're gonna beat us, and it's gonna make
No, they're
me
not.
cry.
No, they're not.
That's what's gonna happen.
No. They're one.
Remember the Tech T-Bone earlier saying I'm a Tech fan for 40 years and I've been let. That's me when it comes to Kansas State. Okay. Yes, they live rent free in my head. I acknowledge this wholeheartedly.
Yeah. No,
In fact, they've got vacancy available in there for how much room they've got living in my head for free. But they have not played well this year. Shelley reminds us Utah was up 3-0 over Wyoming at halftime. That was not a good half of football for Wyoming.
The start of that game was not a good one, but they
figured it out at the end.
They figured it out.
Long story short, that's why there is expectations for this team to win 10 games. I could give you 100 things that would have to happen for that expectation to come down significantly. It would start with... No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Don't say it because it could happen.
It
and
could,
I feel like I know what you're going to say.
No.
We don't need that out
We don't
there.
need that out. I don't even want to give that wings.
We've already had one of those this year. We don't need...
No, bad.
Starts with an I.
Yes.
Okay, we don't need no more of those.
No. The only eyes we have are ice in our cups. Ha-ha.
Oh.
I found another
I thought the I was tied to in the middle of a W and an N.
It could, but, I prefer victory there because then we're not even...
Okay, I'm good with that. We need 7 wins. This is, for me...
We have 3.
Sorry. Oh, wow.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Rolling into the second hour of the program here on The Bottom Line, 100.7 The Score, Double T, sportsnetwork.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app, which is up and running with the chat line for the first time since 7 o'clock this morning. So get your thoughts in. Thoughts rolling in as we continue on. Is someone giving Jeff a hernia exam? What is with the strained voice? You just met me. Like, this is who I am. I'm not high. My off-air personality, very, very similar to my on-air personality. Roman can attest to this. He's seen me both places. There's a subtle difference. My friends have to tell you what it, like the people I hang out with, like don't work in radio, because they'll see me slip into there's a change for on-air personality versus off-air personality, but they have to be the one to tell me that it changed. Like, I don't notice it because it's just me. But there's they've seen me switch into on-air mode when I'm in public and I get recognized or whatever. Not that it happens all the time, but that switch. Like, oh, Jeff's in on-air mode. Got it. Cool. Okay. Now we'll hit him with a baseball bat. That's usually how it goes. Shelly says it's stick. It's always on the verge of a stroke. I'm not always on the verge of a stroke. I'm just me. Tired of excuses. ACU had are we giving excuses? I don't remember us giving excuses.
I didn't give no excuse.
Okay, just checking. Tired of excuses. AC had an ex-coach, players that wanted to play here, or TTU cut. Baylor had Sawyer Robertson from Lubbock. If more excuses, James is a better talking Wells. He's got more than most coaches in the country. No one said he didn't. If he can't win games, he should be. He should. It's a coaching problem because he has every damn resource. Nobody said he didn't. Did I miss something? I've missed things before.
I don't feel like we made excuses. Maybe that's referring back to to me, this is a hump year kind of thing, and he's maybe agreeing with that, saying you do. You have the roster, you got all the resources, the new bells and whistles, stadium's complete. You got everything. You got everything you need. Now go win.
Yes.
So
do not disagree.
Maybe.
I hate the Kansas State game. It's in November. Gives them time to figure things out. Oklahoma State, Colorado are under them easy. Off the 820 Center chat line. Ranking Big 12 teams.
I can't disagree that Oklahoma State and Colorado might be under them. But as it sits right now, Kansas State is at the bottom. They're 1-3 for the season. My question to you is, at what point do you accept that they're a bad team? Do they need to be 1-5?
For me? when Tech beats them.
Okay. Fair enough.
That's again.
Fair enough.
Kansas State not only lives rent-free in my head, they have a vacancy now, but they're making money off of my head. That is completely fair on anybody who wants to throw that at me. I've just seen too many seasons where the fan base has looked at the Kansas State game and like, oh, it's Kansas State. We always beat them. You don't always beat them. They've got a pretty hefty winning streak on you right now.
Just to full circle this, because I know that we are not a Kansas State channel. You lost to Iowa State by 3. First game of the season. We don't know what any team is. You beat North Dakota by 3. North Dakota. Okay. You lost to Army, and you lost to Arizona.
Yep.
All of your games have been close. I'll give you that. They have all been within 6 points or less. But you've lost them all. You've lost games that you should have beat Army. There's no question. And you probably should have beat North Dakota by a significant amount. I don't know what the spread was on that game, so forgive me.
Wasn't it Army at home? Like you were at home taking on Army?
Yes.
That's the part of that.
You were also at home playing North Dakota and won by 3, giving up 35 points. They are not a good football team.
No.
I don't care what their past shows. They have UCF next. Then you've got Baylor, TCU, and Kansas. There is easily a chance where Kansas State can be a 2-win team coming to visit the Raiders.
And that scares me more than them being undefeated.
No chance. This is a terrible team.
They're, again, rent-free in my head with
I know.
vacancy signs.
Yeah.
I acknowledge it's not rational.
They are not an old Kansas team. They cannot simply just run the ball all over you. Avery Johnson is not a good quarterback. I've said that from day one. I've said that from when he played last year. He is a pure running quarterback. He has no desire to throw the ball. He is my first option's not there. I'm tucking the ball and I'm going to run. The problem is that he's not running folks over. He's just a quick kid. So I don't think, and on top of that, their defense is not that good. I do not fear Kansas State at all. I would welcome them from this week on to the next 5 weeks. I think if Texas Tech played them 5 times in a row this year, Texas Tech would be 5-0. That's how bad I think this team is. So tell them to get out of your head.
I would love to.
I'll evict them for you.
I need the
I will
football team
evict
to
them
do
for
that.
you.
That's not how my head works. I wish it did. Believe me. Now, that to be fair, I was one of the ones worried about Oregon State at the beginning of the year because you have not played well against your first team with a pulse in the last 3 years. You have struggled with that game. Now, they've been on the road mostly, but you have struggled with those games. And going into that week, before the Kent State game, I was still worried about the Oregon State game. After the first 2 weeks, and we got to Oregon State week, that Monday, I was like, I am not worried about Oregon State at this point.
Okay.
So maybe we get that far in the schedule, and I'm not just like hiding in a corner, sucking my thumb when it comes to Kansas State coming to town. But I need to get there first.
K-State has more losses than their next 5 opponents combined. Season's still early, but just think about that. That's where they're at.
All of the, you know what that tells me?
They're evicted.
You know what that tells me?
To be more scared?
No, to be more scared, yes. Because it will be more embarrassing to beat the teams on your schedule up to that point and have your first loss and their first Big 12 win be against you.
No. What scares me is this week. Only because I wish that Texas Tech had an away game already. Traveled, went out there, played good, just got used to that little bit. That's the only thing that makes me nervous about this week is that it's nice to stay in Lubbock and go up to the stadium and you know everything and, hey, this is my little quirks I do in the locker room. This is what I got to do. I know the exact moment I have to line up to walk out with the team and all that stuff. There's something to be said about having that experience outside of your stadium, and you haven't had that yet. That's what scares me this year is the travel, the setup, here's the locker room.
Sure. Part of the reason that is not as much of a factor for me this year as it has been in the past is because this is the big game of the week in the Big 12. Everybody knows it. They know it. You know it. This is there. You're not overlooking somebody. You're not looking to the next week's game. All eyes are on Saturday. There is a laser focus for both teams on Saturday. That makes up for what we have seen on the road before.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, we'll see.
That helps counterbalance what that is.
Yep.
Continue taking your thoughts of the Ace Flooring Center Challenge. I'm going to get in some NFL conversation on the way next. Will the Chiefs go 0-3? Will Patrick Mahomes lose 4 games in a row for the first time since he was a starting quarterback at Texas Tech?
Could be.
He's playing Giants, man. I'm not worried about it. We'll get into that next on the way. A 100.7 Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hello. It's Bottom Line, 100.7 The Score. DoubleTSportsNetwork.com and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Jeff in for choice. Matt in for, Jamie now. That's who you're in for because it's after 1 o'clock and normally Jamie would be here. Yeah, that whole switch thing happened and I'm confused. Roman's still here. Sliding slides, pushing buttons for us on the other side of the glass. Jeff, why are you having anxiety? You need to take one of Jamie's Mountain Man snacks. We will be okay. Kansas State is the only team I feel this way about. I personally think this is not an enjoyable game for Utah tomorrow. I see this as a double-digit win for the Red Raiders. On the road for the first time. Iowa State doesn't scare me. Baylor doesn't scare me if you meet them in the Big 12 championship game. Looking at the rest of your schedule, I'm like, these are all games you should win. And then there's that Kansas State game sitting right there just staring at me, going blink, blink, blinkety, blink. Totally get it. But enough of me ranting and raving about Kansas State. It's time for me to rant and rave about the Dallas Cowboys and other games going on in the NFL. I cannot believe we are in a world right now where Patrick Mahomes could be 0-3 by the time we get back together on Monday.
Yep.
That doesn't register in my head.
It doesn't register, but there were a lot of the consensus going in for the AFC West that this would be a lot tougher of a year for the Chiefs.
Sure.
Right? They've kind of progressively continued to lose people. Now, they did have signed a few receivers. They got receivers on suspension now. Your main target over the last 5-6 years is getting older. Now he is engaged. He is not the same Travis Kelce he once was.
No. And you could say he probably wasn't the same Travis Kelce last year as he was the year before either.
Last year seems like he kind of took most of the season off, and then he was like, oh, it's the playoffs. Okay, let me start gearing up. And then the Super Bowl came, and they just got destroyed. But the point was a lot of people thought the AFC West would be a lot more competitive this year. They thought the Chargers were going to be good. People had Denver as a team that's on the up and up, which I think both of those statements are true. The Raiders are the Raiders. I don't put too much faith in them, and any team that is led by Geno Smith is kind of just holding a place. I don't pick them as a Super Bowl chance by any stretch of the imagination. But the Chiefs being 0-2, you did play in Brazil, right? They played somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought they played out of the country, and then they played the Eagles.
Yeah.
So they've had a tough start. I'm almost positive that's right.
I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I wouldn't do that to you. That would have been week 2.
Yeah, they played week 1
No, they played
against
week 1.
the Chargers in Brazil.
Yes.
So they haven't had a normal start, so we really maybe don't know what the Chiefs are yet. And then you played the Eagles, which the Eagles are the consensus best team in the NFL right now. So it's not time to hit the panic button for the Chiefs. But you start the season 0-3, that's a tough hill to start climbing back up.
Yes. Doesn't get taken care of very well if you're on the wrong side of that.
And your 4th game, mind you, you should beat the Giants, but your 4th game is against the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Really tough team. So you start 0-3, there's a solid chance you could start 0-4. So we'll see.
Were the Giants better against the Cowboys than you expected? I know you're not a Cowboys fan, so you can say no.
I'm not a Cowboy fan, but here's the Cowboys are exactly where I thought they were going to be.
Mm-hmm.
There's days I woke up and I thought the Cowboys were the fourth team in that division. And then there's days where I was optimistic thinking they were the third team in that division. I do not see the Cowboys being a good team. I think it still starts with their quarterback. And while Dak is okay, Dak is not a clutch player. You also lost a defensive presence. Call it what you want. People justify the trade. We got first-round picks back. He couldn't stop the run, yada, yada. Micah Parsons was one of the best at his position and still is. And now he just went to a team that is in the NFC, which is not in your division but in your conference. They're probably the number 2 team in the conference. You just added Micah Parsons. So the Packers were already good, and then you gave him to them. To me, the trade was terrible. But we talked off air. This isn't a terrible trade. It's a terrible situation due to how you set your team up in previous years. You gave Dak all of his money. You gave CD all of his money. Somebody had to get cut out of that. Just so happened to be Micah. So, Cowboys are okay. Do I think the Giants are good? No. I think the Cowboys have no secondary whatsoever. I think they don't have a defense, and the way the Cowboys will beat people this year is to run up high scores. They will have to do shootouts throughout the year, all year.
Which doesn't play into your bad defense. No, it doesn't, and that's the part that just it's head-scratching for me that I'm with you. The Cowboys are going to lose a lot of games 35-34.
Shootouts, yes.
Yeah, they're going to lose a lot of games that way. They're going to win some games 35-34. But those games that you win 35-34, it won't be because like you got the miracle play against the Giants in the second half with the interception. Or, I'm sorry, in the
overtime. And that was Russell Wilson that threw a terrible decision just to heave the ball up under pressure. Yeah. You expect that from Jackson Dart, as their rookie, by the way, for people that don't follow the Giants. He's their rookie, probably second-string quarterback. You would expect to play from that. Russell Wilson is a
Super Bowl winning quarterback
player that take the sack. I can't remember if that was second or third down. Punt the ball away.
Throw it out of bounds.
Throw it out of bounds. You live to fight another day. You don't heave it up. Just a terrible decision.
Now, in his defense, his receivers were open the entire second half of the
he had 450 yards or something? He just destroyed.
And it was 10 yards past everybody where his receivers were. So him throwing that ball was this has worked the rest of the game. Let's see if we can make it work one more time, and it didn't. It's going to be those type of games that this Cowboy team is going to win. And I walked out of I turned the TV off for the Eagles game and went, maybe they're not going to be as bad as I think they are. I mean, they're not a good football team, but this team showed me some life against the Eagles. And then I watched the first half of the Cowboys and Giants game, and I went, there it is. That's the team I thought I was going to see. And then they came out in the second half, and it's like they got in the locker room and had a conversation and said, this is not how we play football. And they came out and fixed it. And I was like, cool, overtime, here we go. And then I saw the first half of overtime look like the first half of the football game and went, what are we doing? Why?
What could save the Cowboys this year is that as good as Jaden Daniels was, there's always a thing as a sophomore slump. It happens every year in the NFL. Rookie quarterbacks come out, light the league up, and then they get film on them. Coordinators know how to play against them. They know how to shut them down. And then you see a sophomore slump happen. Prime example of that would probably be C.J. Stroud has not been the same since his first year.
No.
There has been film on him. It has been an uphill battle. He has also had a lot of injuries to his team, his receivers. I get all that. But that's just what happens. So the Commanders might not be as hot as what people think. They had a great run last year. But the Cowboys, as much as I criticize Dak Prescott, he is a average or slightly above average quarterback. He understands what needs to be done. He does throw a good ball. He just makes terrible decisions in the most difficult spot of the game. Crucial, there you go.
That's the word I'm thinking
Most
of.
crucial spot of the game. So the Cowboys could be second. I do not think there's a chance that they win the division. I don't think anybody can win that division but the Eagles. And it would take a lot of injuries off the Eagles because they're so stacked for them to lose that division.
All right, so I don't have time to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Tush push. Keep it or ban it?
Keep it.
Ban it.
All right.
There we go.
Why? And here's the thing. You can have that opinion, but you got to back it up.
Yeah, of course. I'm looking at it, and then when I saw them play the Chiefs, obviously the formation is a big deal right now. They're under a microscope with the formation that they had.
Okay, if you're talking about them being offsides,
yes,
that's not the play. That's officiating. Do I want it officiated better? Absolutely do. I don't want the play banned. So if I told you if they were lining up offsides like they were in every picture it looked like they've shown, and 100 times, and it was flagged for being offsides, or lining up in the neutral zone, do you still want it banned?
Yep.
You still want it banned?
Yeah, I would. So there have been they don't talk about it that much, but the only one that they talked about is Chris Jones with the injury that he had during the Super Bowl. There have been, I think, 5 more players who have gotten injured from it, but they don't talk about it that much because it's not that big of a deal. It's like a minor injury, but I think it's still an injury risk. I think if players aren't getting injured, I'm perfectly fine with it. But I think because there's an injury risk, I think that they should at least discuss it a little more.
I'm sure we will get more into this conversation coming up. But first, we've got Jamie's question of the day brought to you by somebody not named Jamie on the bottom line.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Halfway through the program here on the bottom line, on 100.7 The Score, Double T, sportsnetwork.com, 100.7 The Score mobile app. Thoughts, comments rolling in there. Get yours in on any of the topics we've gotten into, including Jamie's question of the day.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
Okay, this question revolves around the big game on Saturday. Texas Tech going down to Utah. So this question revolves around a Utah quarterback, Devin Dampier.
Okay.
2-part question.
Two parts.
He has not had a turnover at all this year, running the ball or passing the ball. He is clearly the leading passer. He is also their leading rusher.
Yes.
So what quarter will he have his first turnover, and will it be an INT or a fumble?
It will be an INT, and it will be third quarter.
Okay.
Were those the 2 parts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I was ready for the next part of the question.
No, that was it.
That's all. That's
no.
Gotcha.
You passed.
Okay.
You scored. We'll see how well you scored.
I followed directions. Sometimes that's a struggle on Jamie's question today, is following directions. And I did it this time, so I feel better. Roman, what do you got?
I'm with you on the third quarter. I think something's going to happen. I would say probably a fumble, just in my opinion.
Okay.
Which way are you going?
I am going with an interception.
Okay.
And man, this is where it's tough for me. I'm not on the third quarter train. I'm actually on the, is it going to be Texas Tech defense comes out and just goes crazy the first quarter, or is it going to be close game fourth quarter, defense pressures, throws a pass up? You know what? I'm going fourth quarter. That's where my heart was. So interception fourth quarter is where I got it.
I should give some this off the 8 Scoring Center chat line. Interception first series.
Hey, I like that.
I love that.
I'll
take that on the first series. I'll take that on the second. I will just inject that into my veins. I will have no issue with that whatsoever. I really should give more credit to the defensive line. Part of it is they've got a really good offensive line, and that's why I'm not saying fumble in the first half, because they're going to be able to protect him a little bit. Yeah, and I say a little bit. They're going to be the best offensive line you play this year.
They have, but he's a runner.
This is a defensive line that eats quarterbacks for breakfast. And it's breakfast time with a 10 a.m. kick.
It will literally
it'd be breakfast time. Yeah. So it's that part of me wants to say fumble first half, probably second quarter is where I would put a fumble in that. The first series is usually scripted pretty well. so they know what they're doing ahead of time. They already know where they're going. And this is for both teams. This is not just a knock on Utah. That you know what you're doing, you know how you're attacking things, you know what the setup's going to be, you go from here. That I don't anticipate something happening there. It would have to be after that. And then you get into the offensive linemen getting tired because the defensive linemen are pounding them into the back, like imposing their will on them, which is not something they're used to. And that's when something like that would happen on a fumble kind of thing, where he gets scrambled out, you get a piece of him in just the right spot. But I do feel like it's third quarter, you come out, let's say they get the ball first or whatever, their first possession of it, that's where that interception happens, or maybe late in the third quarter, because they're trying to make up some ground, which is what I think is going to be happening in this game. I think their offensive line can protect their quarterback. I think their quarterback is a dangerous weapon when it comes to running the football and passing the football. I do not think they have an offense that can score with yours.
Yeah.
I do not think they have a defense that can slow your offense down enough that they can keep up with you on scoring. Does that mean you're going to score a touchdown every drive? Absolutely not. It'd be cool if you did, though. But I just see too many weapons on the offensive side of the ball with your receivers to have them shut out.
Yep.
I see too many opportunities for your defensive line to go do work, which is all they have shown you that they are capable of doing.
Yeah. This is going to be
but you face some really bad offenses.
Yeah. This is going to be a good measuring stick for the defense for sure. The offensive line we know of Utah is good. And again, Devin Dampier, he clearly hasn't thrown turnovers, which they haven't played, top of the line competition themselves, but he's committed no turnovers. He's actually got a higher completion percentage than Baron Morton. Mm-hmm. Now, he is throwing for less yards per throw, averaging, I believe, a little over 7 yards. Baron's floating around the 11-yard mark. But you factor in that he clearly makes good decisions with the ball when he's throwing and that he has some wheels on him. It's going to be a test for our defense, and that's where I'm excited to see the first quarter of who sets the tone first. Are we going to go into the second quarter being like, okay, Utah's got some bulls on that offensive line. Mm-hmm. We need to readjust this plan. Are we going to go into the second quarter saying, yeah, our defense was as good as we thought? This just further solidifies that for us.
This off the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Speaking of rent-free, Kansas State, I should say, in my head. Dampier has been set up at 620 Avenue Q all week without paying a dime. It's Avenue O. Avenue Q's over there. It's one block over. We're on Avenue O. But I appreciate what you are saying there, yes. He's also their best player. So it's not like he's unworthy of us being concerned.
He's a good football player.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, he's got all of us up here worried about him. There's no argument there. But I'm not worried about the rest of the team. I respect the offensive line. They're not scoring 65 points.
No.
If I were to tell you Texas Tech scores 30 in this game, without telling you anything else, is it a win for the Red Raiders?
I can't say yes.
You can't say yes. Okay. If I said it's 35.
I'm leaning close. 40 is my point.
40.
If you tell me Texas Tech scores 40, I need to know nothing else about the game to know that we're 4-0. That Texas Tech is 4-0. If
I told you
35, I feel almost as I'm about to go get some money and go put it on the sports book.
If I told you that Tech's defense held Utah to 28 points.
That's almost like saying we score 30.
Well, kind of, but you're holding them at 28. You know they are not scoring more than 28 points.
So will their defense shut us down to 29 or less?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I would say I'd probably feel okay with that. So I think that
I would be like, well, what happened? Did they get a pick six somewhere? That's where my thought would go.
35, I would probably rescind my answer and say, yeah, I'm good with 35. You put 35 on the board against Utah, you should be 4-0.
Yeah.
Because the defense is so good. If you're giving up 36, then we really got some questions to ask about this defense.
Unless they got help. Unless there's a pick six, unless there's a special teams score, something along those lines that I don't want to say is unexpected, but not normal for a football game, I guess is the way to put it. Something out of the norm along those lines that changes how the game goes.
Yeah.
But I don't see it. And I could be in for a very rude awakening with the Double T 97 3 Coors Light postgame show if Oregon just absolutely dominates you.
Yeah.
Because I don't see that happening. I can see them winning a game. I cannot see this being a blowout for them.
For who?
Oh, Utah.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
I only have one concern offensively, and it's when Barron gets pressured. And that's been my concern for most of the years. Barron is not the type of quarterback, and this is clear. You can go watch it. Now, I am not a master of football, but when you watch Barron, he struggles a lot with pocket presence. He doesn't know how to move the pocket. He knows one direction when there's pressure, straight back, which is a terrible thing to do as a quarterback. You've got to be able to move your pocket and understand where that pressure is coming from, because the farther you go back, the harder your job becomes. And once you take that sack, your job gets even harder for the next down. So for me, he's not going to learn how just to move a pocket in one game. And I by all means, Barron's got way more knowledge than me, but throw the ball away and fight another day on a 2nd and 10. Don't make it a 2nd and 15, a 2nd and 20, because you don't have any wills really. So that's my only concern with Barron is move the pocket or throw the ball away. But don't try to be the hero for one play and just keep going backwards. It just doesn't work. So
it is the bottom line. We'll get back to our tush-push conversation on the way. It is 100.7 The Score, Double T Sports Network.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.